Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I am going to be walking us through Samba installation and configuration. Samba is one of the most popular file share application used to share file between Linux operating system and Windows operating system, and this is actually being used in a lot of companies today. Samba is one file share that I like to you know, teach because most companies, for some reason, uses Samba file share for mapping network drive for sharing things. So in this video, we're going to do our Samba configuration on a Linux operating system, and subsequently, we're going to have a window client connecting to the server. So one of the few things to note, and this is something I've said in my previous video, that before you install any application, you want to think about the package requirement. What package do I need to install this application? You want to think about the service name. What is the service name of this application I want to install? You want to think about the configuration file. What is the configuration file of this application? What is the configuration path? Okay. What ports will this application run on? And how do I start? How do I stop? How do I restart this application? Okay. These are the first few basic things you actually want to be able to capture when working with Samba. Okay. Um, for Samba, I am also going to show you some documentation that can personally I like to work with Unix man if I have to, you know, send any documentation pretty much to people. I like to work with Unix man, and I like also to work with Krishna. Okay. Um, so to be good, you can go on any of these um, website and also follow some of this guide. They're pretty straightforward, and as we can see, the first step is saying, like I said, the package. You want to install the package. As a matter of fact, you don't have to install this package. If you install Samba and add the star, which is white card, is going to install everything that starts with Samba and all dependencies. And subsequently, you want to start Samba service. We can see they are enabling the SMB service and they are enabling the NMB service. Okay, and that's it for the most part. Every other thing is creating a share folder and doing what is needed pretty much. That's all we need to do actually, and we are good to go. So I'm going to be coming back to this documentation as we go, just to give you something to also work with as far as documentation goes. I don't know how you know I don't know how long this documentation will be on this website. So just in case you can reach the link again. Okay. So the first thing we want to do is, so one of the things we want to do first is we want to install EPL release. And EPL release is adding extra enterprise package to our server so that personally, I like to install API release so that whatever package or dependencies my base repository is not pulling, my extra repository can give that to me. So you want to install API release. API release is adding another repository to your machine so that whatever the first repository, the default repository is not able to pull, this can help you pull that. And subsequently, we want to install our Samba package. I'm going to do yum install Samba. By the way, yum is Red Hat Package Manager. And the reason why I personally like to use yum is yum helps to install the package in question and also install all dependencies. So this doesn't only install the package you ask for, it also helps you to install all dependencies, which which is good. Um, and I'm adding a wildcard. Like I told you guys, if you look at this documentation, they're installing Yum, Samba, Samba client, Samba common, and you notice everything is starting with Samba pretty much. So instead of typing all that, what I did was I'm saying wildcard. Anything that starts with Samba, as you can see, this starts with Samba, they start with Samba. So it's gonna install pretty much everything I need. And I am putting the flag while, which says any question in the process of installing that asks yes or no, I want my answer to be yes. And this is going to install all these packages and it's going to install dependencies. You can see it's installing, you see the Samba client. I didn't put this, you see it's there. The Samba command, you see, is right there. And also a dependency. So that is done. By the way, Samba run on ports 137, 138, 139, and 445. The first two is UDP and the last two is TCP. So, but for the purpose of this class today, I'm going to shut down the firewall. I believe I did already. System CTL, disable firewall D. I believe I did already. It's done. I'm going to make sure SE Linux is turned off, is disabled already, so we're good. So the next thing I'm going to do now that the package is installed, now I need to enable the service. Okay, I can simply copy this and you can do service. The service name of, remember I said now we know the package name is Samba, right? The service name on the other hand is SMB, which means for us to do anything, stop, start, restart, we want to call the service name. So it's going to be something like service SMB start, service SMB stop, or you can use systemctl starts SMB.service like that. Okay. So if I do service SMB status, so it's showing me that it's not running pretty much. It's not running, it's dead. Okay. But once I add the service SMB enabled right here, you see that? Once I add that, it's going to start the service. Okay. Uh, let's check the status again. Not started yet, but it's enabled. So let me start it actually. Okay. So let's check it now. We can see that it's running pretty much. I'm going to clear that and I'm going to run this also. Okay. And the next thing is, so this is how I like to do my example. Say we have a department called HR. And HR, we have 4 people in this department, HR. And these 4 people wants to be able to share the same file, work on the same file. Okay, let's say Joe from HR, make a request to system admin asking to asking us to create a share drive and call it HR share. Okay, call it HR share, HR share, right? So this is the share drive they want me to create for them. So the first thing I want to do as a system admin, I want to go to, say I want to go to, I probably want to create a directory and call it mkdir mkdir/p. I'll call this Samba and I'll call it HR share, right? And I can, I can make it available by doing shmode, right? 0777, and I can make it this recursive, which means altering the permission of everything all the way, right? So, this is my Samba right here. I can actually modify the permission of my Samba too, you know. So this is my Samba. So we'll make this word readable for now. Of course, you want to lock things down, but for the purpose of our class, I am doing this. And this is our share. So say I have another department, let's say accounting. I can create another share and call it mkdir accounting, or I can call it AC share, you see, and I can change mode. I can make this recursive. Recursive means I want you to change the permission of this file, okay, of this file, AC share, and any other file that is going to be added or any other file that is inside as we go. So any other file, so if I have some file, some directory, anything I have inside this guy, so this shmode will not only modify this directory, it will also modify everything inside because of the R flag, which is recursive. Okay. So now I have two share drive, right? Now I need to create users that will access this share drive. So the first thing I want to do, say I have a user, say I have a user, Grace, and I have a user, Tommy, that needs to access the drive. I want to create user add, Grace, user add, Tommy, right? And I can do password, Grace, assign Grace password, okay? And I can assign password to Tommy also. So the fact that I just finished creating user account for Grace and Tommy, this is the system account, and I created system password. Now I have to create SMB password, which is Samba password. To do that, I have to do SMB password space -a, I believe, and that will be Grace. Now I have to create SMB password. It's up to you. You can have the same password for the system, also for the SMB. Okay. So now Grace is added to the SMB user. Okay. Now let's do the same thing for Tommy. SMB password Tommy. Okay, so two things we've done now. We created share drive. We created share drive for HR, and accounting departments, right? And we created two users, Tommy and Grace. Okay. But before then, we've install our SMB package. We started as SMB service, shut down the firewall, disable XC Linux, and now let's go to our XMB configuration file. And the configuration part is slash etsy slash samba slash smb.com. Sorry about that. So this is the path. This is the path. The path is how you get to a destination. That's the path. But this right here is the file. This is the configuration file. Okay, now we're going to open the configuration file, and this is what we have pretty much. Okay. Okay, so the configuration file is smb.com. So the first thing we want to do is, before you touch any configuration file, always make a backup. We want to use the copy space -p to copy the permission also, smb.conf, and we want to call these smb.back. Okay, so we're going to back it up. So now, if we look at this smb file, I like to use Vim, and let me install the Vim package so that way I can use my Vim. So, so now you can see a sample configuration. This is just giving us a sample of the configuration. But what I like to do personally is I like to copy the content of smb.conf example into smb.conf. But we don't have to worry about this because we already backed this up. Worst case scenario, we put this back here, okay? So we can do copy and preserve smb.example example into smb.conf, okay? Yes. So if I open smb.conf now, you see it's different from what it was before. And I'm going to set new so that I can show you what I'm doing, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do in this file is pretty much, I want to change, see where it says work group equals my group. I'm going to change this work group equals work group, and it's going to be cap. Work group equals work group. Okay, there are so many things you can actually change here. We can change the host allow to specify the host you want on your server, pretty much. That way we can lock down the the host subnet we want on our server. We can specify interface, but I'm not going to do all that. But we can do more, and that's why I'm copying this file over. Um, so ideally, what I'm just going to do is, so these are sample configuration that is done for us. So what I'm going to do for the most part now is I am going to come all the way down right here. I'm going to come all the way down. I'm going to come all the way down, and I can copy one of these just to use as my templates. Just to use as my template, and I will bring it down here. And I can remove all these. I don't need all this. Can remove all this. Okay. So now we can now start working on things. So I can change this and say something like guess, guess, okay, equals yes. I can say browse, browsable equals yes. Can change the writable equals yes. You know, I can actually remove the printable and I can have the public right here equals yes. My own, my shared directory is what? Slash Samba slash HR share, HR share. And I can call this the name of my share drive. This is actually the name of your share drive, and I can just call it capital HR. Okay, my path is HR share, and I can put a comment and say this is my HR share drive. And I can put a path and say something like slash share slash HR share, just for reference purpose. And I can add different things here. I can add like, see how they have directory mask. I can add directory marks right here, directory mask. I can put equal to 077. For now, I'm just going to do 777, to leave it open. Okay. I can make it 775. Okay, 775. And I can just close this. So we have a shared drive right there. Okay. Let me open it again and let me just create, since we have another share, which is accounting share, might as well just do that too. And let's call this is ACCT as in accounting, and that is ACC share. I believe that's what we did. ACC share. Okay, let's call this ACC for accounting. ACC share. So the idea is we can have multiple share drive for different departments, for different purposes, for different things. Okay, so this is HR share drive, and this simply means everything you want to share among the HR people, you put in this directory, HR share. This is accounting share. Anything you want to share within accounting group, you put in this directory. Okay, and pretty much that is it. Service, SMB, restart. Okay, we are restarting the SMB service. So let's give it a shot and let's go on. So now we're pretty much done on this server. So let's act as a client on the Windows side. And now say this is your Windows machine and you want to connect to the server. You can come to your folder and you can click on your PC. Click on your PC, and from your PC you'll see computer right here. Click on computer and you'll see where it says map network drive. Click on map network drive and disconnect computer map network drive. So if you come to map network drive right here, you want to map network drive. Okay, you want to map now. If you have existing network that you map, you want to disconnect, you click here. But if you want to map a new one like we want to do now, I will click here, map. Now, what is our server IP? You see, this is an example right here. Example, server/share. So our server is 10.10.10.154 / and our share, we have HR share. Don't forget, this is your share. This is your share. If you go to the configuration file, this is your share right here, HR. This is another share, accounting, okay? But this is the folder where whatever you share is gonna go, okay? See, this is my HR share drive, okay? This is my accounting share, this is our share. So now we have to put the HR right here, okay? And we can click on finish and it's gonna ask us what's our user. We can have Grace, and I can have password. Okay, if I do enter, okay, let me try Tommy. Okay, Tommy is in. I'm gonna look at the other user also. I don't know why that user is not working. Okay, but I'll check it. Grace and Tommy. This is Grace. So let's just demo something. Let's create a file and say payroll. Okay, inside that payroll, let's create a file. That was a directory, but inside that payroll, let's create a file and call it paycheck. Okay, so that's created. So now we have in our drive, we have payroll and paycheck. If we come to our server right here and we go to our share / Samba / HR share, CD HR share, and we do ls, we can see that payroll, see the payroll, and we can see that, you know, there. We can come here and even create mkdir, say 401k, or what can we create again? Let's say insurance. So that's two directories. So now we have insurance, 401k. If we go back to this share drive, we see all those things we just created. See, 401k insurance, and I can go into 401k and I can create a file and call it. So now you can see it's saying I need permission. Did you see that? I need permission because the permission on the 401k doesn't permit me. Okay, and this is where your permission comes in. Okay, look at 401k now. Look at this. Payroll is owned by Tommy. It belongs to Tommy. because Tommy created that, right? So Tommy is logging here, but Tommy wants to be able to. So what we can do now in this case, we can create a group and say group add. Okay, we can say group add. Let's do HR, or let's say HR group. Okay, and let's add Tommy to HR group. User mode and can add AG, and the group is what? HR group. HR group, that's the group, and we have Tommy. So if we do ID Tommy, so now Tommy is now a member of HR group. Now, the file is 401k, right? We can now say Shimode. We can change the group ownership of the 401k and say she group, and let's say HR group, and that will be 401k. In fact, we can change the group recursively. Okay, so if Tommy try again to create this now, Tommy should be able to create something. If not, we'll look at that again. Um, so HR group, Tommy is part of, okay, so, so now Tommy is part of the group, but look at this now. But the permission on the group say read, write, execute, read, execute, read, execute. Tommy doesn't have the right to write. So we have to shmode 77041K. And we can also make that recursive, you know. So now if Tommy comes in now and try to create a file, mm, 41K. Sure. I want to change the group owner of HR also to group, since we have a group for that HR group, HR share. So now HR, yeah, so this is better. So 401k is owned by HR group. Tommy belongs ID Tommy. Okay, service, SMB, restart. So we can see now, Tommy can actually create something in that file, because, so you see how, yeah, permission actually also have a big impact. Yeah, okay, so touch, Tommy, access. See that as we're creating it, touch, test one, you see, it's coming there as we're creating it, test two, you see, test three, as we're creating it, it's dropping. And let me delete everything. Everything is gone. Okay. I'm creating another folder is there. Okay. So pretty much that is it for, and if I also want to connect to the other, what's it called? The other shared drive, all I need to do is come back to computer and do map network drive, the same IP 10.10.10.154. In this case, it's going to be ACCT, and I'm going to connect, let me use Grace this time. Okay, we don't know why Grace is having an issue connecting. SMB password Grace. Okay, let's make sure Grace is able to. All I did was just to reassign Grace's password, and I can do Grace password. Okay, I think it's saying is already map. So let's do this map network drive. I do tender 154 fin ACCT finish Grace. Yeah, now we can enter as Grace, and any other thing you encounter in this process is all going to be permission. Okay, anything from here is going to be permission. Okay, that's the mkdir test 1, mkdir test 2. So the idea is we are managing the server from this Linux box, and the client using the window can access this. Okay, and don't forget that I said to connect to your Samba password, all you need to do is go to your PC, and you're gonna see computer, click on computer, you're gonna see map network drive, click on it. And every time you map something, it's gonna show right here. You see, this is accounting, which is what we had over here. Which is what we have of the ACC accounting right here. Okay, okay. And if we want to map the other one too, we can, all we need to do. And for this drive, we can pick any number. We can pick any number. It doesn't matter. And when you hear Z drive, it's because the first number is always Z by default. And that's why people say Z drive, Z drive, Z drive. Okay. If we have 10.10.10.154 slash the other one is HR. So anytime you hear Z drive, they're talking about network drive. Okay, finish. And also let's use Grace and let's use password. So if we come right here now, we notice we have HR and accounting. In some cases, you may have 10 different network drive depending on what you're doing. And every time you want to work on document for each department, you just go to HR, you work on their document. If you're done with that, you can go to accounting, you work on their document. Once you're done, if you're part of IT department, you go there. And if you don't need to work on any of this network, that all you need to do is disconnect. If you disconnect, it's gonna go. That's it, disconnect. So these are network drive. This drive, even though it's showing on your laptop, on your workstation, on your machine, like you're using this, but ideally is actually on the server. It's not physically on your machine. These are the physical drive on your machine right here. Okay. So if your machine crashes, this can get destroyed, but this guy will never get destroyed because it's actually not on your machine to start with. This is not on your machine. Okay. um Thank you, and please go ahead and like the picture, subscribe to the channel. That is the end of Samba. Thank you. Bye.